everyone. This is Margaret Manning with 60 and Me. This is the place where women over 60 come to be inspired. My guest today is Jane Archer. Jane is an award-winning cruise journalist, and she's based in the UK, writing for the Daily Telegraph and lots of other cruise publications. She has so much experience with cruises, and I'm very, very happy to have you here. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so we've been talking about cruises with our community, and women actually do love to take cruises. They're doing it more frequently than ever before. But the question that always comes up is, what do I take? How do I pack for my cruise? And I thought I would ask someone who spends 150 days a year of their life cruising. You must have suitcases already packed. But tell us what to take, what not to take.
Right. Well, you're pretty well actually on the mark there, because I do have a bag which is sort of semi-packed so that it's ready to go. I have to say I'm probably really the very wrong person to be talking about this, because I always travel, unless I'm going somewhere like Antarctica where you need very warm clothing, etc. I will travel with hand luggage. And I think one of the big mistakes everybody always thinks is, oh my gosh, I'm going on a cruise, I have to take wardrobes and wardrobes of clothes. And you don't. Yeah. And you really, really don't. One of the things I have discovered is that nobody really pays the blindest bit of notice as to what you're wearing. I mean, as long as it's not full of holes. Yeah. And unless you happen to be the Queen or
celebrity.
I don't know, somebody else really important. Actually, the rest of us, it really doesn't matter. Yes. So what I always do is I work out how many days I'm going to be away. So therefore, I'm going to need different tops for those days. For the evenings, I'll need something for that. Obviously, if you're going somewhere warm, you need some shorts as well, some light shirts.
Yes.
Something that so you can just put on if it gets a little bit chilly at some time. The important thing, I think, anyway, is not to burden yourself with loads and loads of stuff. I think it's just so nice, and it's kind of freeing to be able to go without very much. And you have to remember also, on all of these ships, there is a laundry. Yes. And a lot of ships have a DIY laundry if you really want to go and do it yourself. Okay. But other ones, they have a laundry where you can just give it to your room steward, and 24 hours later, it will be back. Now, you do have to pay for it, obviously. Yes. You do pay for that service. But it does mean you don't have to carry loads and loads of clothes with you that you're actually going to be taking back. You would not believe how many people I know who say, oh, gosh, I brought all these clothes with me and I haven't worn any of them.
Yes.
And it's crazy. It's crazy that people do it.
No.
So the only real exception to that, obviously, is if you're going with somebody like Cunard, which has quite a strict formal dress code on, let's say, I don't know, it depends on the length of your cruise, but maybe it's for 3 nights or for 4 nights, in which case you do obviously need a little bit more, sort of fine wear for that. But, I think the women have it really easy, because I don't know about you, but my little black dresses, they fold up to nothing.
A little bit of
it's
jewelry
brilliant.
or a scarf and...
A little bit of accessorizing, fantastic. It's easily done.
Well, also, unless you're actually dancing or walking around, no one's seeing anything above your waist anyway if you're having dinner. I mean, as long as you have one little sparkly top and then a couple of T-shirts that, like you say, you can accessorize, what more do you need? Be comfortable.
Absolutely. And one of the things I always say also is worth thinking about is if you don't take too much with you, you might end up going somewhere and think, oh, I'd like to buy a few items when I'm here. I mean, some of the places you'll go to, for instance, if you're in America, if you're doing a cruise in America, you might want to pick up some clothes. You can get some really good bargains there. If you're going to Asia, I mean, they have some great designer clothes there at fantastic prices. So instead of filling up your suitcase and taking clothes all the way out there, just take a few bits and pieces and fill up when you're there. Save a bit of money.
Well, the only problem with Asia is that every woman is like a size 4 or 8 or something.
Well, that's true.
They're so tiny that the clothes, you can just about wear the gloves. I mean, they'll fit you, like nothing else. It's crazy. But that's okay. So clothes, I think we've got clothes down. What else do you always take yourself on a cruise in terms of either technology or things that you know that you've needed that thing, and oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I took that. Have you got any of those suggestions?
There are certain, well, the one thing that I have to have, of course, is my computer.
Yes.
I cannot travel without my computer
Me too.
and my hard drive, which is a separate one. So those two things are absolutely vital. And of course, then you need the leads that go with it to make sure they're all charged up, and a mobile phone. And if I've got all of those things, actually, you can put me anywhere. And I'll be happy. I'll be absolutely fine. All the rest of it is great. It's nice to have some clothes and whatever, but they're all things that you can buy down the line.
Yes,
but
yes.
if you've actually got to work, which obviously I am, whenever I'm on these cruises, I'm not there on a holiday. I am actually there to work. I need to be able to work.
Do you, when you're writing for your columns, do you actually record your stories, or do you write it down? I mean, you can't, when you're in Antarctica, for example, you can't be writing while you're out there. I mean, do you write on the boat, or do you wait till you get back and do your stories?
Both.
Uh-huh.
Both. Yes, yes. I mean, I'm out there writing. If I'm on tours, I'm always the one walking around with a notepad and a pen. And yeah, absolutely, confirmed Luddite me. So you
No, I'm the
can't beat
same.
a bit of a pen and paper. And then obviously I use computers when I can get back and I can be on the computer.
Yes. How about camera? Do you have a camera that you take with you, or do you use your phone?
Yes, yes. I should add the camera to that as well. And a lot of times that's very important for me because it's a great way to record. If I'm on a ship, for instance, and I want to remember different rooms on a ship, and that's a great way for me to be able to record that as well. And of course, the places that I'm going to see.
Is there ever a time that you've got somewhere and just said, I really wished I had brought my something?
No, I'm pretty well good actually. I'm pretty good at it. As I say, I've got my little suitcase. My suitcase is absolutely perfect, and it is packed in exactly the same way all the time. So if there is a gap, I know there is something
Yeah.
missing.
How about makeup? Do you like makeup and that kind of
Yes,
stuff?
but you can
Creams?
get little travel ones. You can get
Yeah.
little travel things, and one of the best eyeliners mascara
Mascara.
things I ever got was very 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 small, uh, perfect for traveling. So everything of mine is miniaturized.
No, I think that's a great guideline. And I love the idea. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect you to say that you took a carry-on bag for a cruise, because I think people think about cruises like they do train journeys. Like there's no weight restrictions, so no one's weighing your stuff. You can just really take a bit of extra. But it sounds like what you're advising is to really focus on the journey and not the stuff that you take with you,
Absolutely.
and just enjoy yourself.
We've got so much stuff. The stuff you can have at home. You're right. Go and enjoy where you're going to see. It doesn't really matter. The rest of it doesn't matter. Just have a fantastic time. And you are right, of course, because there are no weight restrictions. It is why people take loads and loads of clothes with them. I mean, I have quite a strict rule here when I'm traveling with my family. So I insist that everything is put out on the bed. I want to know exactly why they are taking certain items, and if certain items cannot be justified, they get left behind.
Oh, I bet they love you for that.
Oh, they do.
Well, it's funny though. I should say this. I've got a couple of friends right now that are on a cruise to, I forget where, Middle East somewhere, and it's become a Facebook event though. That every time they stop and have a meal or do something, they have to pose for their Facebook picture and and dress up appropriately. And I mean, they're getting into it. I mean, they're obviously enjoying just the drama of it, and I think that's fine too. But I guess there's lots of different styles of travel, and we love them all. So.
Yes, well, absolutely, and there's loads of people who like to do that sort of thing, but that's not me. That's definitely not me.
Well, I honestly appreciate your advice, because with someone that travels on cruise rivers and oceans as much as you do, I really trust your judgment, and I really appreciate your advice. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Jane.